Franz Wagner might be the most underrated player in the NBA. He's a tall, smooth, and crafty wing that is versatile on both ends of the floor. He had a great rookie season and an even more encouraging sophomore campaign, and I believe that he's going to be an absolute star in the NBA. And while I think most people understand that he's good, I don't think they realize just how good he could be. He is a cornerstone for the Orlando Magic, and for me, someone that defines modern day NBA wings. He has all the potential in the world. I love his fit with what I believe to be the franchise centerpiece in Paolo Banchero in Orlando, both now and in the future, as both of them continue to get better. And I want to talk about all of that in this video. But quickly before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I would really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and hit notification bell. I'm notified whenever I release a video. I'm making videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways you can help me out in the YouTube algorithm and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about Franz Wagner. Franz Wagner has an incredible frame for a wing. He stands at 6'10", he weighs 220 pounds with a 6'11.5" wingspan, and he's a really good athlete. He's not the most explosive or twitchy athlete like Jalen Green or the Thompson twins, but he's really fluid, has a good first step, moves well in the open floor with good speed, has good vertical athleticism, and when you have that in the frame of a power forward, that is something that's truly special because it's the fluidity of a guard or a wing, and when you have that in that kind of frame, it really opens up a lot of things for your game potentially, and this alone gives him the baseline for a potential good NBA player. However, when you combine it with his skill, feel, and intangibles, that's what gives him the baseline for a potential great NBA player. One thing that I was incredibly encouraged by with Franz is his improvement statistically. 3.4 point per game increase, 0.6 assists per game increase, 1.2 free throw attempt increase, which on its own is impressive and encouraging going from year 1 to year 2 in terms of improvement, but it's not just about a production increase. His efficiency and volume have also gotten better as well. 1.7 field goal percentage increase, 1.7 field goal attempt increase, 0.7 3-point percentage increase, 1.1 3-point attempt increase, 2.6 effective field goal percentage increase, 3 true shooting percentage increase. Production increases on its own are encouraging, and that's even if your efficiency stays the same or gets lower. It's common to see young players adjust to more responsibility and see a decrease in efficiency, which has been true for some great NBA players like Devin Booker and John Morant when they were going from year 1 to year 2 in their NBA careers, or Damian Lillard when he took the jump from the second star next to LaMarcus Aldridge to the main star of the team. But when your efficiency also improves with your volume, it's even more encouraging, especially at a young age. Franz, to me, has made improvements in terms of production and efficiency that's similar to what Anthony Edwards has done. Edwards is also a player who has seen improvement in terms of production, volume, and efficiency in a very linear way. I personally believe the improvement Franz has made going from year 1 to year 2 is why he has a much higher ceiling than most people believe he does. Franz is a very gifted offensive player. At 6'10", he has shot creating and scoring tools you look for in a 6'5" player. He has an incredible handle, he's a very good off-bounce creator, he doesn't have many wasted movements in his creation attempts. He's a good shooter from 3, he can attack the basket, good athlete with a good first step, has good shot touch. He has all the tools in terms of skill, frame, and athleticism as a shot creator, but he also has incredible feel as a shot creator. He knows how to get to his spots, he knows how to make his moves as effective as possible. I never feel like he's dribbling the air out of the ball or wasting time with his on-ball reps. He's crafty and creative, he uses his frame to his advantage. And he's also efficient in the areas he does score. 65.3% on 5.1 restricted area attempts per game, 55.5% on 8.5 overall paint area attempts per game, which factors in non-restricted and restricted area attempts, 36.1% on 4.3 3-point attempts per game on a very good shot diet. He should try to expand his mid-range game because he doesn't really take him at all. In fact, less than 1 per game. But even if he never becomes a great mid-range threat, he is capable in that area and is so good at other scoring areas that I don't think it's that big of a deal. But I do think if he does expand his mid-range game, which I think he could be good at based off how good of a 3-point shooter he is, how good of an off-bounce creator he is, and how good his touch around the basket is, it could make him one of the most complete scorers in basketball. And regardless though, he has the baseline for a truly special offensive creator. But he is also more than an on-ball scorer. He is incredible off the ball. He's comfortable in catch and shoot situations. He plays well off movement. He's a very instinctual cutter. And this to me makes Franz the ideal coaster to put next to a guy like Paolo Banchero, who I believe is an offensive hub type talent. A guy who can create on the ball to take pressure off of Paolo and let Paolo play off ball more, and a guy who can play off of Paolo as well. Franz is also a good passer. He has high feel, he makes good reads, he has good vision, he's decently creative, he has the handle to expand his playmaking, he has the scoring gravity to open up opportunities for teammates, he understands his scoring gravity as well. I think he thrives most in a connecting passing role in terms of playmaking, but he also can be an on-ball playmaker in the pick and roll. And to have a 6'10 guy that can be the ball handler in PNR sets is incredibly valuable and not something that grows on trees every day. Like with his scoring, I feel like his passing is also defined by high feel, a refined skill set, and versatility. He's also a good defensive player as well, which just adds to the value that makes me believe in him having such a high ceiling. He has the motor and feel on defense, which are the two most important things I believe in what make great defenders great. He uses his frame and height to his advantage. He has decent ground coverage. He can play on and off the ball on defense, although I think he probably thrives a bit more off the ball on defense, but is good on the ball. He may not be a guy that gets a ton of blocks or steals, but he can contest shots well. He reads opposing offensive looks well. He communicates well. And I do believe he will be a high-level defensive player that could be in all defense talks in his NBA career. I do think he has decent foot speed and lateral movement, but I do think he's more fit to defend wings and forwards more than guards. Franz Wagner is a player I believe has all-star to maybe even all-NBA upside. He's a 6'10 wing with the fluidity of a guard. He can create offense for himself. He can be a playmaker. He can play off the ball. He can defend. He does everything you want from a modern wing and has a chance to be good to great, maybe even elite in all of those areas as well. He averaged nearly 19 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, and 4 assists per game on 59 true shooting percentage in year 2. And that's not a sign of what he's going to be throughout his entire NBA career. That's a sign of just the start. I believe Franz Wagner could be a 22 to 25 point per game, 5 to 6 assists per game, 4 to 5 assists per game player that flirts with 50, 40, 90 on top of all defense level ability. To me, the way I view Franz is not in the sense that he's going to be Tracy McGrady, because I don't think he'll reach the peaks that McGrady did. McGrady at his peak is one of the best scorers basketball has ever seen. A guy that puts up really good scoring numbers, actually scratch that, great scoring numbers with good all-around numbers as well. And I don't think that Franz is going to be like this 32, 33 plus point per game scorer or anything like that. But the way I view it is what Tracy McGrady was in Toronto and what he probably was projected to be based on what he showed in Toronto, I think that Franz Wagner could be that. A guy that was growing as a scorer next to a great offensive player in Vince Carter. A guy who would likely have been like a 20 to 22 point per game scorer next to like the big time 25 plus point per game scorer that Vince Carter was if he stayed in Toronto, while also being the good defensive player, being a good playmaker, things like that. I think that's what Franz has the potential to be. A high-level second option. One of the best second options in basketball. That could be the best guy on a playoff team that maybe has a chance to win a playoff series. That's what I think the ceiling on Franz Wagner is. A 6'10 player with that kind of potential is already scary, and again, it's even more scary when you factor in that he probably is the second option on this team long term. I love his fit with Paolo Banchero. Two high-field, big wing forwards with unreal versatility and scoring ability. That's a duo that I look at as one that will be in contention for best in the league in a few years. And I think it's a foundation for a potential contender in a few years, especially with the core they're building around them. I really like what Orlando's doing. If you haven't been paying attention to the Orlando Magic, you should start paying attention now, because they are going to be special, and Franz Wagner is going to be one of the biggest reasons for that. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, I'm notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways you can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. I'd love to hear what you think about Franz Wagner. What do you think his ceiling is? How good do you think the Magic is going to be? Love to hear all that down in the comment section below. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.